Oh, welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Yeah, and to my left, your right, I got a buddy, partner in crime joining me tonight. I got Dizzy from that other little show we do, The
Yeah.
Ramblers Unleashed. Brother, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Man, what a hell of a pay-per-view that was. AEW Double or Nothing. What a pay-per-view, man.
Dude, it was insane, and we're gonna chop it up. But before we get into that, yeah, you're not you're not seeing things. This is Smash This Podcast. It's been a minute, and so I figure I'm gonna try my best to keep the momentum going on this and keep this show fired up, while I also do a couple other shows. We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah, because you are a busy guy, man. You do not only TNI and our show Ramblers Unleashed, but
Yeah,
you've had Smash's podcast since what 2013.
yeah. This year is actually my 11th year podcasting across
Wow.
several different shows, including my own. So yeah, it's been wild, man. It's been wild, and I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is it's fun to be able to get on here and do this and build up an audience. And man, you've had a loyal audience for a very, very long time. So kudos to everybody who subscribed to, Smash's podcast, the TNI, the Ramblers Unleashed. And you are just doing magnificent, man. Proud of you, brother.
Thanks, man. It's I never in all the years of doing this, I do my best to stay humble about it. I've always been a small fish in a big pond.
Sure.
I knew I would never, like, at least assumed. They say never assume. I got to take my own medicine. But, you never think you're going to become as big as some of the other ones out there. But you know what? Part of me is glad I don't, because the bigger you get, and I've seen people grow their audiences to leaps and bounds, and I've seen what happens to them, and it ain't pretty, dude. It ain't
well pretty. They get like a complex about them. They say, well, I'm the top dog now, and they think that they're hot shit, and it just it just changes the whole dynamic of the show. And I've always been a believer of, look, we do a show for the people, whether it's Ramblers, whether it's here, whether it's TNI, we all just do a show collectively for the people. And we don't have big heads. We don't walk around with, inferiority complexes or anything like that. But we try to put on good shows for you, the listener, for the viewer, for the subscriber, and give you something to talk about, and you can connect with us. And by the way, I see Bell's Boy says, evening, J-Bone and Dizzy. Hope you guys don't have flamethrowers. Yeah, I definitely don't have a flamethrower. J-Bone, did you put yours up?
Mine's gonna be here in about 3 weeks. My wife doesn't know about it. No, okay.
That's a bad ass flamethrower that he had. Man, it was nuts. Just absolutely nuts. But we'll definitely dive into that, I'm sure. Oh my God.
We'll chop it all up. Welcome, everyone. We got a few late night viewers in here. Yeah, it's the shows are long, but trust me, the podcast will not be as long as the pay-per-view. So
yeah, well, happy Memorial Day weekend too, because I know a lot of people have the holiday off. So if you're up late night after AEW, welcome in. Happy Memorial Day for the holiday. Yeah. So yeah.
And there's a lot of storms rolling across our lovely nation. So
yeah,
wherever you are, just be safe and be conscious of
it hit me. It hit me. I mean, my power. It was funny because as soon as MJF came out my power went out.
Oh,
And shit. So I'm furiously on my phone trying to get the pay-per-view back to watch. And thankfully, I was able to watch, catch up a little bit.
yeah.
But I said, oh, what a perfect time. What a perfect timing for a big, big, big return. And my power just goes out.
Jeez, MJF knocked out all your shit. Well, yeah, I knew there was storms headed around the St. Louis area and into Illinois, and I was like, oh, that's where my buddies are. So, yeah, I'm glad glad everyone's staying safe.
Yeah, I mean, our fellow podcaster, the Baron from Ramblers Unleashed, messaged us. We're all in a big separate chat, and he messaged over and said, "Dizzy, dude, you okay? I mean, there's a lot of tornado warnings and everything around your area." I'm like, dude, it's AEW. I can't worry about tornadoes. I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. Not tonight. Please, for the love of God, not tonight.
Dizzy's gonna take a steel chair to that next twister rolling down the street and be like, "Come on, mother trucker!"
Hey, if they thought if that tornado thought that the Wicked Witch of the West or Dorothy was a pain in the ass, they have not met Dizzy yet.
Right?
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, there was stuff rolling through Wisconsin too. But enough about the weather. You guys all hear enough about the weather. Welcome. Let's talk about tonight's pay-per-view, shall we? AEW's Double or Nothing. They're pretty much their 5-year anniversary. So congrats to them. They still got some growing to do, but hey, they've made it this far. I'm sure that place was sold out. Where is it? Was that in Vegas?
It was in Vegas.
Wait,
yeah.
Vegas.
MGM Grand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, duh, right here. It says right on the cover here.
Live from Las Vegas.
Live. Where the hell are we? All right.
Yeah. Wayne Newton didn't come out there.
Right. Oh, that'd be right. Like running away from Darby Allin down the ramp. He's chasing
just running down the ramp. Like, it's not unusual to be chased by Darby Allin.
With flames and shit.
He's not unusual. He's got a flamethrower in his hand. And when I see him coming, I just gotta run. It's not unusual. I'm out of breath. Oh, this is my death.
Rest in peace, Vegas.
Where else are you gonna get that? Where else are you gonna get that? But smash this freaking podcast.
The golden voice, Dizzy. Thank you.
Welcome. That's free. The next one I'm gonna have to charge, but that one is free.
I'll send you.
You'll send me the bill. Yep.
Something I don't know what that.
Send me an edible, and then we can turn the tides, and I'll do an edible on Ramblers Unleashed.
It's his turn. It's his turn.
Yeah, let's go. Bell's boy, I would not know. I'd be kicked off the voice. Definitely would be kicked off. There's no way. Anyway.
Like, who is this guy?
Right. Who the hell is this? Why does he call himself Dizzy? What a stupid name.
Did you watch the pre-show at all?
I did. Yeah, I got to see a little bit of that.
Okay. Did you see? Now, I think there was only a couple matches from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like there was so much stuff we were talking about. My head was spinning by the end of it. So did they have a Thunder Rosa Deonna Purrazzo match?
They did, yes. And Deonna Purrazzo.
That one?
Deonna Purrazzo went over on that one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna. Those are two of my favorite women wrestlers, so I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch that one. I did see that. Yeah. Well, she is top notch. Both of those women are top notch. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which one did you see?
I saw the tail end of what was it? Um, the Acclaimed versus
The Bang Bang Gang.
That's it. The Bang
Yeah.
Bang Gang.
Which was another big return. Juice Robinson came back.
Yeah. Almost didn't recognize him. He had so much hair.
I know.
He's holding on to Jay White. He's like, and Jay's like,
riding him like a horse.
There
were a lot of great returns tonight and a lot of special appearances too. We also found out that they're going to do a what is it? The tournament for the Owen Hart tournament again. That'll lead up to I think Forbidden Door and then All In. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it was awesome to see Owen's wife back. So and they're still working with the Hart Foundation, and that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, Tony's got people, you can rib on Tony all you want, but I tell you what, he's he brought back Sting. He's working closely with the Hart name, Bret Hart and Beth Hart and whatever. Celebrating the legacy of Owen Hart and doing stuff like this. So hey, not everyone is able to do that in this industry. Even the top dogs are not able to do that in this industry.
Especially with the beef that she's got with the WWE. Even though Vince isn't with the company anymore, she still has a kind of a bit of a beef with that company. Yeah. So she's working exclusively with AEW. I think, honestly, I think Owen would have wanted it any other way. Like whatever you think is best to work with, whatever company you want to go with. Now it would be cool to see if Owen eventually is, if they can talk her into having Owen inducted into the Hall of Fame with Vince completely out of the picture. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But it is cool that they're working with AEW and that AEW is working with the Hart Foundation. So props to Tony on that. We rib a lot on him, but he is doing, that is one of the good things that he is doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right here, Bill's Boy says winners of the Owen Hart Cup tourney will get title shots at both world titles at All Out J-Bone. All right, well, thank you for the tip. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Bill's Boy.
Because God knows I missed a couple things here and there.
It was a nutty show. It was a lot to keep up with. So
it was. I've got 2 full pages here. So, but all right. So that's the pre-show. If anything else happened, please let me know. But I'll start out with the main show here. We start out hot. We got the international title on the line. Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay. Dude, what a hell of a way. Like, you knew there were going to be certain matches in this that people were really going to be on the edge of their seat for, and they did not disappoint with starting out things with this one. What'd you think of it, man?
Well, I said on Ramblers on Saturday, I said this is going to be match of the night, number 1. And it really was. It really was match of the night. I mean, what a way to start the pay-per-view off. It was a solid match. And we were talking about this in the chat too. I said, Will Ospreay is so good. We just don't see him wrestle a lot on TV, on regular national TV like Dynamite or Rampage or Collision. I just wish that he would do some more of those shows because he has so much potential to be a regular AEW wrestler.
Oh yeah.
And
I think what they're trying to do is
every single time.
I think what they're trying to do is stretch him out across at least Collision and Dynamite. So, he ain't gonna hit every show, but he's been on a handful of them. He's definitely proven his worth. He's had some good matches.
he's had some really good matches. Tonight's match was absolutely fire. It was like I said, it was the match of the night.
Yeah. So Will Ospreay, yeah, and I love this match too. I mean, a lot of these are predictable, but you know what? You still watch them because you know what's going to be damn good. Will Ospreay gets the international title here, and he survived an attack, and I mean survived with quotes here, because he took a bump, but he was on the shoulders of, I forget, it was either, I think it was on the shoulders of Bennett at the start of the match. And Taven flew over the ropes. He got hung up on the top rope, and how he hit Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay went backwards when he got hit, and he landed right on the back of his neck. It was really bad. It was, look, and stuff like that happens. I'm just glad, like, if he landed an inch this way or an inch that way, it could have been fatal. And it was just like, oh, I just cringed when I saw that, and they kept replaying it. Yeah, I was like, damn. But he kept going, and he finished the match. And so I'm hoping I'll be watching for any injury reports. But and I'll probably catch the media scrum after we're done here. So
yeah, and Bell's Boy in the chat says he has a news flash. New Japan Pro Wrestling president Tanahashi currently talking at the media scrum, talking about Forbidden Door. So that's going to be some news. That's definitely going to be some big news. I don't know what they're promoting, but or talking about, but that's going to be huge. But
it expands on the relationship between AEW and New Japan, and so it's kind of a versus show that they do.
Yeah,
and so that always is a great show.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely setting up some dream matches. Jeez Louise.
Oh yeah. But going back to Ospreay and Roderick Strong, the specifically the bump. It doesn't matter how safe these guys work. It doesn't really matter how well they plan things out and talk about things. Accidents are usually going to happen, and thankfully Roderick knew that, okay, this was a bad bump, so I think Roderick took it easy on Ospreay just to protect him, and I think Ospreay did the same thing for him. Did you see? I think Ospreay had him set up to do his finisher that he said he wasn't going to do anymore, and he didn't do it.
Oh, yeah, because Callis, most of Callis's, the Callis family is, it's simply put, their heels. And the fact that he was trying to influence Will Ospreay to go back on his word and not use that move that he just swept under the rug. He's like, no, I ain't doing that no more. And he was this close from doing it. He was going to finish him off, and then he was like, no, I can't do that. Don Callis kind of getting in his head. It's going to be an interesting road for Will Ospreay and seeing how this all goes.
Yeah. And it just doesn't make sense, because if they're trying to push Will Ospreay as a face, why are they putting him with Don Callis? He doesn't need Don Callis. He really, honestly, he doesn't need Don Callis. The dude he's good on the mic. He's good as a solo. He doesn't need the Don Callis family. He doesn't need to be in that faction. He just needs to be a solo guy and do his own thing. Now, if later on he goes head to head against somebody from the Don Callis family, then that, so be it, but I personally, I don't understand this whole, we're going to pit Will Ospreay and put him in the Don Callis family, but he just came as a huge return or a huge debut to AEW. So we're going to make him a face, but he's in a heel faction. It just doesn't make any sense, and he's like a sword. he's like a sore thumb. Whenever Don Callis is talking or going out with Will Ospreay, Callis is doing his heel gimmick, but Will Ospreay is doing his face gimmick, and it's just
Oh yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But
Don Callis might object to your way of thinking.
Pull my scarf.
Yeah, you can shove your scarf up your you know what.
I haven't played it's been a long time. I got to dust off some of these sound bites. This is still one of my favorites.
This is sick. This is sick. This whole place is going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
I love Don Callis.
Oh my,
he's one of the best. All right.
Oh my. Anyway,
but yeah, Will Ospreay wins the title, and drama with the Don Callis family continues. Next, we got Adam Cole.
Yeah,
Hey.
Adam Cole comes out, and it was weird because it seemed like he was making his return, and I guess he kind of was, but he's been on TV, which doesn't make any sense to me. But
he's just not cleared to wrestle.
Yeah,
so he's still doing therapy for his leg. Yeah,
right. But you know,
he's like, I should be home, but I'm here, and you guys all suck. And then he got out the devil's mask.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's going to be a while before you see the man behind the mask. And all of a sudden, all the lights go out. The place just erupts because they know what's coming.
Yeah,
they know who's associated with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, the lights go out. The Titantron shows a video package of a camera walking down a long corridor, and it takes a right turn into a door, and it's full of MJF memorabilia. And if you caught this, I don't know if you caught this, but there was the token, the gambling token of the All In.
Oh yeah.
Or the double or nothing chip.
Yeah.
And that was in the room, and then they had the mannequin with his scarf, and out
one
comes
of his famous suits.
Yep.
Oh wait, if you looked at the bookshelf next to the window, there was also the set of dog collars. Mm-hmm. So he's got the set of dog collars, and that's from his match with CM Punk, which is still one of the greatest matches from a couple of years ago. It's badass.
Yeah.
And the things are right up there.
Yeah. And it goes dark for a minute, and then it lights back up, and then all of a sudden his music hits, and the place just went nuts. And if you noticed, not only did he come out with a spray tan, but he also came out. Do you remember when Triple H tore his, do you remember when Triple H tore his quad in WWF or WWE at the time, and he came back in that leather jacket with the sleeves? That's what MJF came out in.
I loved it. And then if you looked at the back, it had like a Burberry design with like a skull, So it looked just like Trips's getup, except he made it his own. It's like big patch on the back. I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
Loved it. It was good. It was good. And
he looked great. He was
looked really good.
Yep.
And if you I don't know if you heard this, but during his promo, he said that he doesn't need a New Japan, and he doesn't need a Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He made himself.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got a Tony Khan. So
Tony, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess you're right, but I don't know. The dude's worked hard. The dude is just worked. He's a monster of a worker, and I legit think that he is really good for this industry. I really do think that he is good for this industry. I think he's shaking things up. He's not as bad as what CM Punk did on WWE when he dropped his infamous pipe bomb.
Yeah.
But MJF is really good for this industry. I missed him. I really am happy that he's coming back, and I'm so amped for a possible Adam Cole MJF fight. Oh, I'm so ready for it.
It'll happen eventually. We're gonna have to wait a little bit, and I
Yeah.
don't know what's. I tell you what, I was waiting. I know we're skipping ahead here, but I was really waiting for MJF to come out at the end of the show and face off against the Elite. But I know it's too soon for that. It's too when it didn't happen. I was kind of, oh man, that would have been really cool. But you can't have everything in one night, and I get that. So that was just me quick fantasy booking in my head. But yeah, MJF is back. He is signed. He's not going anywhere. He is now oh yeah, Bell's boy here says he is now the Wolf Man. I don't know about that. I don't know if it was like he did that because he kind of had his hair up like Wolverine or something. I don't know.
I think what he means by the wolf is he's a lone wolf. He's by himself. He's not gonna be friends with anybody. He's there to do stuff. He's because they were doing this whole best friends thing, and Adam Cole turned on him, and now he's back. And he's like, okay, it's time to DTA. It's time to be a wolf. It's time to be a lone wolf. And I'm just going to go and do my own thing.
Yeah. He's going to be tearing it up. I can't wait to see what he does first.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. This is the first time in a long time I have been excited for Dynamite. I can't wait for Wednesday. I hope he comes. I hope he's on the show.
Oh, I'm sure. He'll probably open it. If I know Tony, he'll probably open it, and then we'll find out like who's gonna come knocking on MJF's door first. So.
Yeah.
All right, then we got the Death Triangle, which is Pac, Pentagon, and Fenix versus the Bang Bang Gang. See, we got that wrong. I don't know who Acclaimed faced before the show. I think
the Acclaimed. Oh, crap! The Acclaimed face off went. Let me look. Hang on.
Zach Bonifer, thank you. Says the Bang Bang Gang face Death Triangle. You are correct, sir.
Yes, but who did the Acclaim faced off with? Man, it was just such a packed show. It was so hard to keep up. The Acclaimed. Cage of Agony. Cage of Agony. That's who it was. So it was Brian Cage and
Khan.
Yeah, the two others. The guy that the guy's name that sounds. I always think they're going to say Tia Leone, but it's not.
Yeah,
and I can't think of his name. I can't. If somebody in the chat can help us out, so it was the Acclaimed versus Cage of Agony.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting that they. Well, because they stepped away from Cage stepped away from Swerve because that was all part of that group too. So
right, yeah.
So Swerve's on his own. Okay. Death Triangle versus the Bang Bang Gang. This was a lot of fun. This is for the 6-man tag titles. They still got all these titles. I kind of thought they'd unify them by now, but they still got the AEW and the Ring of Honor titles. So this was a lot of fun. I mean, some of my favorites are out here, Pentagon and Fenix. Mm-hmm. This has been a long time, they said, since Death Triangle has actually wrestled together in almost like a year and a half, because of injuries and whatever, You know, Pac gets injured, and then Phoenix gets injured and goes away, and it's crazy. You know, these guys just go 1,000 miles an hour, so there's always someone injured from this group. So they're finally back together.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Bang Bang Gang retains here. Some shenanigans
with the help of the returning Juice Robinson.
Right. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. But anything else to note from this match?
It was honestly, it was a really good match. I didn't think it would be, but it was a pretty good match. Honestly, if I were to rate it, if I'm giving it like between 1 and 5 stars, I'd probably give it a 3.5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. On a Meltzer scale?
5-star rating out of me, huh?
On a Meltzer scale?
It's a Meltzer scale.
Meltzer give it a star.
Meltzer would give it. Well, he'd probably give it a half.
You're like, well, they're not the Bullet Club anymore, so they're not associated with New Japan anymore. So it's one star.
Make it, which really saddens me. I wish they would still keep the Bullet Club name. They did name drop. I don't know who it was, but somebody did name drop the Bullet Club. I think it was Daddy Magic. Is that his name? He name dropped the Bullet Club. So
okay.
I don't know why they're going by the Bang Bang Gang and not the Bullet Club Gold anymore, but whatever.
Oh, you gotta come up with original stuff once in a while. You can't always ride the coattails of other big groups, you know. So
yeah, right.
It is what it is.
I get it.
So next we got the AEW Women's Title. This was pretty good. This was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But it reminded me how good these women truly are. So we got Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's Title against Serena Deeb, aka the Professor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a few people in my audience call me the Professor, and to this day I still don't know why. I don't know it. I sure as hell don't know it all. I think I got some good opinions here and there, but man. But anyway,
you're the professor of not only professional wrestling, but you're also kind of the professor of podcasts.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm going to put my PhD of podcasting up behind me.
Damn right. I will make one and I will mail it to you, and you better get it framed and hang it up there on your wall. The PhD of podcasting.
In my professional podcasting opinion.
Yeah, right.
That's too sweet.
That's too sweet.
Too sweet, man. Too sweet. But yeah, Serena Deeb, it's great to see her back. She's healthy. I think she's a tremendous asset to the women's division, being a veteran. You know, she had some troublesome years back in the WWF and whatever, but she's one of the veterans that this young, hungry group of ladies in this company can lean on and really learn from. I feel, at least they should if they're not. Right. But Toni Storm, it's taken me a while to kind of jump on the whole timeless Toni Storm bandwagon.
Right.
But it's
I
think I'm a fan now.
You know, I like Toni Storm. I like this timeless gimmick, and I think I know why. I think I know why they're doing it. I think they're trying to sweeten the deal with Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers Discovery, they own not only TBS, but I think they own Turner Classic Movies, and they're really trying to push, this partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery to say, hey, We're all about the oldies over here. Here's Toni Storm, and we're going to call her Timeless Toni Storm. So I think that's why they're doing it. They're just trying to sweeten the deal with Warner Brothers to get the deal to go through. But I've been a big fan of Toni. I not even before she was Timeless Toni Storm, even when she was with the Outcasts. You know, that was a good. She had a good run.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. She had a good run with them, and then she went on to do her own thing, and then she became, you know, timeless Toni Storm, and I dig it, man. I'm there for it. Like I said, I'm a fan of Toni, so props to her for you know, coming up with this gimmick. It's really clever. Nobody else is doing it.
It's classy, and she throws her own twist on a classic look.
Mm-hmm.
But she still uses all of her moves. She's still an incredibly badass woman professional wrestler.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
she in that sense, like, besides like the classic like movie star kind of big picture that she presents her, you know, universe in, she reminds me of the throwback lady wrestlers from long ago, before things got crazy in the Vince era, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s.
So like the Great Moolah and all those.
Right. Yeah, totally. She reminds me, like, how she presents herself in the ring, because those women were incredibly badass. You know,
they were badass, but they had a lot of class.
They what?
They were badass, but they carried a lot of class. Like, they carried themselves well.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of class, but you didn't want to meet them in a dark alley. You know.
Exactly. They were tough, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Toni Storm retains her title here.
Really good match.
I feel like there's going to be some deception. Like, there almost was some deception here from
Luther.
Who's that? No, not Luther. Who's that girl that comes out?
Mariah
May.
Yeah, her. I see. So there was a spot tonight where Mariah and Luther were at ringside, and she was down on the apron. She was by the apron, and Luther was trying to give her like a towel, or trying to throw in the flag or something. And Toni took the towel and threw it out to the crowd and yelled at Luther. So I don't know.
Mariah had it, Mariah had it first. She was going to throw in the towel.
Okay.
Which would cost her the title.
Yeah, exactly.
Luther stopped her, and he had the towel, and that's when Toni saw him, and he's like, oh, no, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
I love Luther's character. I mean, if you knew what he did before this, you'd be shocked. But yeah, just he was doing, like, you know, the death match crazy look stuff. And now he's got this gimmick, which is just completely flipped everything on its head.
Totally 360. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Totally 360. But it was a really good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed it. And I'm glad that they did. Honestly, I mean, I'd love to see Serena Deeb get the title, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't let her drop the title to Serena. I'm glad that she gets to be able to build this character up with the title, and, you know, they get to carry on, and she gets to look strong, you know.
Absolutely. She totally does.
Yeah.
You know, and Serena Deeb she's you know, you could say, I guess she's had her time. She's there to help, you know, teach the next generation, which includes Toni Storm, you know, and they're putting on a hell of a match, and hopefully, you know, the other girls can learn from it, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
Next, we got Trent Baretta versus Orange Cassidy. And they didn't give this a gimmick or anything, but I call it a grudge match.
Yeah, it's kind of a grudge match, but it was just a regular exhibition match. So it was weird because so Trent Baretta came to the ring, and then Orange Cassidy's music started playing, and on the Titantron it said, "I'm going to beat up Trent," and they changed his music. It's not Jefferson Starship anymore. It was something else. I didn't recognize what it was, but
it's an alternative thing from the 90s, and that was his original music when he came to the company.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's going back to his singles gimmick, as opposed to he's not with the best friends anymore, because number one, Trent's not his friend, and Chuck Taylor is retired.
Right.
So so there's no reason to have that anymore. So as
Even
cool as it was.
Jefferson Starship, I love that song.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, so decent match between these two.
Oh yeah, stellar.
Orange Cassidy is still to this day, I feel, is one of the most unpredictable guys. Like, he has the gimmick, which you know what he does when he's going to do it, but you never know, like, how do I say this? You never know when it's going to, like, really, like, he's going to fire up and just go ape shit on his opponent. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he's got the cool, calm, collective gimmick, but he can turn it, he can turn it on a dime. And that's the cool thing about this. That's the cool thing about his gimmick, because he doesn't have a gimmick. He doesn't have one.
Right.
It's just him. He's cool, but then if you piss him off, you're gonna get you're gonna see a different Orange Cassidy, which is neat. Going down, punk.
So he beat Trent here, and Trent is, the look on Trent's face after he lost, he was like, he couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
like, he had it in his mind to really just teach Orange Cassidy a lesson, or beat him down or whatever, and it didn't happen.
Right. And as he was leaving the ring, he was walking alongside the ramp, not up the ramp, but he was walking to the other part of backstage. And Renee Paquette came out and wanted to, have an interview with him. And he's like, I'm not doing this right now. So I think he was embarrassed. I think, for the storyline, I think he was embarrassed, and he played it off really well. So I'm really interested to see what happens on Dynamite between that, because I don't know if it's over per se, but
he said one of the main words he used in that phrase as he was walking away from her, he said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's just gonna take a break, if his contract is up soon, so he just he's kind of like walking off into the sunset.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're gonna
I did see something in the news that there were a lot of contracts up for renewal in AEW, and I wonder if his was one of them. So I don't know. But I just want to know what's going to happen on Wednesday. I wonder if he's going to come out and address anything on Wednesday, on Dynamite. We'll just have to see what happens, but it was a good match. It was a really, really good match. Those two work so well together, and
they know each other so well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think, this was a hell of a match, man. Hell of a match.
Yeah. We got the FTW title on the line next. This one, I didn't pay as much attention to this match as I probably should have.
I don't really care. Here's why. And I said this on Ramblers Unleashed.
Yeah.
When the FTW title was created, it was created in ECW, and Taz carried it. And for them to bring the FTW title, which is a meaningless title, it doesn't mean anything. It's not
I don't recognize it.
Nobody recognizes it. Yeah, it's an unrecognized, and that's why Taz had it in ECW, because he was all pissed off that he didn't get a title. He wanted a title, so he was the one that created the title. So I understand that, he's that Hook is carrying the title in his dad's honor, but it's an unrecognized title, and it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be as part of the show. It doesn't need to be as, a title or a defense or anything like that. So I just didn't care about this match, to be honest. Right. I don't understand. I don't understand Hook's gimmick. I don't understand Jericho's gimmick, and I don't understand where the other guy came in. Like, did they just say, you know what, we need to make this a triple threat, so we're going to put eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you. Was it Shibata?
Oh, Shibata, yeah.
Yeah, so
Shibata's badass.
He is badass, but he didn't need to be in that match. I think Tony Khan just covered his eyes and said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Shibata.
Is that how it goes? Eeny,
I guess.
Mo, Shibata?
Well, hey, it's Tony Khan. I mean, he's high on coke, and he's at 11. Film at 11. He did a big line and said, who am I going to put as a triple threat? Because this FTW title needs to be a triple threat. I know. We'll just do a eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hang on. Let me cover my eyes. Eeny, meeny, miny, Shibata.
Well, he fell off his chair, and as soon as he got up, he looked up, and that was the first guy he saw. So yeah.
Right. Shibata was there to pick him up. Oh, you okay, boss? You okay? Yeah. You want to be in a triple threat? I guess. Yeah, sure. Okay, you're in.
And one thing I do actually like about Shibata, and they're doing this, it's kind of a comical gimmick thing, is whenever he's doing interviews, because he doesn't speak English very well.
No,
maybe he does, but when he's being interviewed,
Google Translate.
He'll type stuff in his phone and be like, I like your dress. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
it's kind of like when Kane in the WWE, before he ever talked, he had the voice box.
Oh, God.
He just used the voice box. That's what it reminds me of.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, it's like
not that kind of box.
Yeah, no, not that kind of box. No, he would be in the ring, and he'd have the mic, and I'm going to take you down. Anyway,
so,
that's just my thoughts on the match. I didn't pay much attention, but I know Big Bill came out and interfered, and he tried to put Hook through the table, which I will say this. I did see this bump when Big Bill came out, tried to put Hook through the table. Hook he countered, and he put Bill through the table, but the table broke in a way that he was really close to that leg of the table, because the table broke, and you could see the leg was still standing, which they had a lot of malfunctions during the show with table spots, but that leg was still standing, and Big Bill was maybe about that far away from that leg. If he would have hit that would have been the end of his career.
Yeah, he definitely would have been hurt. And he just reacting, his body, he hit, and then he kind of slowly bounced up. His head hit a broken leg.
Yeah.
And so it's good that he didn't hit that any harder, because oh my God, you're gonna lose an eyeball.
Well, yeah, that, and he could have broke his back if he hit the leg. If he didn't go through the middle of the table and he hit that leg the way the table broke, he would have hurt his back really, really bad. So thankfully I think he's okay. I was super lucky. Yeah. But yeah, I think this was a filler match, to be honest.
Yeah, I just look, and
everybody get a beer, everybody take this.
I love Chris Jericho. I love the fact that he's a part of this company. and he's done
Mhm.
some amazing things with some amazing groups that he's helped, pick this group of people up, pick that group of people up along the way.
Mhm.
But this is probably his first gimmick that I'm like, no.
The learning tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is TNA did it within the last couple of years. So it's like, and I'm not saying they ripped it off of TNA. You probably didn't even know,
Mhm.
but it's like, okay, I've seen this already. Brian Myers did this gimmick with oh God, who was he with?
In TNA, or you have no idea.
Yeah, it was in TNA. Yeah, but anyways, but yeah, so there is a new member of the Learning Tree. Someone came out in black, a hooded figure, if you will,
Yeah.
and ripped off his mask, and it was Brian Keith.
Mhm.
So we got a new member of the Learning Tree. So it's and I like Brian Keith. I haven't seen a ton of his matches, but I know he was one of those. He is one of the last, I'll call, indie darlings to get signed. I know a lot of people like Brian Keith. He's a great wrestler. He really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see where this goes, because you got a guy like Big Bill who's just massive. Now you got
Yeah.
Brian Keith who's like 5 foot nothing, but he's also probably one of the best wrestlers on the roster.
Mhm.
Like he's underrated right now because not a lot of people know about him, but from what
Sure.
I've seen, he's damn good. So
And if they book it right, they make him into the monster, or at least the wolf of the group, or the dog of the group or whatever, and makes them to go out and just destroy people. That'll make him look strong.
yeah, like a sneaky hitman kind of guy or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what they refer him to as a hitman.
Something.
So
well, and that's kind of like his gimmick coming in. He is the bounty hunter, so he's going to continue it, but it's going to be on a heel level now. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. We got I'm flipping pages now, so we're getting somewhere now. We got the IWGP World Title on the line. We got Mox defending against Takeshita, the Alpha Takeshita.
Yes, this was good. I said this was going to be match of the night number 2, and it was really, really, it was. It was really, really good. And I didn't realize that Mox was going into this fight with an injury. I guess he got injured over in Japan.
I don't know where he got this, because I've missed a lot of programming here and there. So it could be gimmicked. It could be like, it's like someone comes into a title match and he's got his ribs taped, so that's a target. One of those things. And Takeshita just beat the ever living hell out of Mox. I mean,
yes, he did.
You want to talk about limb work, and I talk about limb work all the time, where you pick a limb and you just
target it. Yeah,
you target it, you gnaw on it, you rip it off, and throw it in the audience. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
That's what he did here. He just went nuts on Mox. And this wasn't a match where Takeshita was gonna win the title. He was going to earn a shot at a title match. So I tell you what, a good chunk of this match going by, I really felt like Takeshita was going to beat Mox and earn that title shot.
I did too.
But
the way that he kept targeting his arm, and especially, how Mox played off of that and held his arm down, like the hurt arm down, and he smacked him. He was trying to do a chop, and it looked so weak, and Takeshita just took it. It didn't phase him. That was really, really good of Takeshita to play off, to look strong against Mox, since Mox is injured. Whether it be a kayfabe injury or a real injury, it was good. I really like I said, I predicted this to be match of the night number 2, and it was. It really was.
So Max, where's Max?
That's the other guy on Ramblers.
Yeah. Mox.
I didn't know Max was on AEW. That's cool.
Yeah, he was there.
Was he in a dress?
Row.
Yeah, in his dress.
Yes, there we go. No, Tony Khan, you're not seeing things. That's our buddy in a dress.
Yeah. Right. Him. He's just here for the show. And
right.
Some food.
So Mox wins. Unbelievable match. But next, we are going to have quite the spectacle here. And I knew this was going to be barbaric, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
We got the TNT title on the line in a barbed wire steel cage match.
This was intense.
Oh my God. First we got Malakai Black coming out. And he's intimidating as it is. But then we didn't get Adam Copeland's regular entrance music.
Yeah.
Oh no. We got freaking Slayer Rain in Blood. At least I think it's Rain in Blood.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah. And it wasn't the Rated R Superstar. It was the Brood.
The Brood. Yeah, I actually said the Brood up above there.
And on his tights it said the Brood too.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they got away with that, but obviously, whoever's got whatever trademarks,
Yeah.
I'm sure Vince let that go many years ago.
I'm sure he did.
But man, great to see Adam Copeland come out like this. Got pretty fired up here in Slayer. I'm not a big Slayer aficionado, but I do appreciate some death metal here and there, and watching him come up. He's surrounded by flames, and he's coming out to this. I'm like, oh,
he's coming up from the bottom. He's coming up from he's like being rose from the stage, from the bottom.
Hell.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Tony Schiavone said. It was like, man, he's coming from the pits of hell. And it was really, it fit the gimmick, man. It fit him. It fit what he was trying to do. He was trying to be more badass. He was trying to get to that dark side, and it really just fit,
It did.
But let's talk about this match, man.
Match-wise, this was insane. There were so many, gimmicks in the ring. Now, it went outside of the ring briefly, and that's when things really got turned up.
Well, the only reason it went outside of the ring is because I believe Malakai Black, didn't he spear him through the freaking door? Didn't he spear Adam Copeland through the door, and the door broke?
The cage. It was something to that effect, because I looked up from whatever I was doing, and there's Adam Copeland on the ground outside the cage, and I'm like, he won. Oh wait, this isn't that kind of match. Shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But then you had the other members of the House of Black come out, and it was kind of weird to see what happened. So they were siding with Malakai. They were standing on either wrestler was standing on the other end of Malakai, and they were looking at Adam. And then all of a sudden they turn and they start standing with Copeland. They started standing with Adam and looking at Malakai. And Malakai's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was like, oh.
Yeah, and you really thought that those two were going to turn against Malakai, and then nope, they're House of Black guys.
No, they attacked Adam and
they
threw him back in the ring. But Tony Schiavone went nuts. He's like, yeah, never invite a vampire into your home. It's like Adam Copeland Brood style, like put a hex on him or something, you know,
Right.
and made them side with him. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Nope, not happening.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How now, before we get into the surprise guest in this match, what did you think of Adam Copeland climbing to the top of the cage and doing an elbow off the top of the cage, putting Malakai through a table?
You know, I'm so happy that Adam Copeland is still doing what he wants to do, because when he was with the WWE, they said that he wouldn't be able to wrestle anymore. And to see, you know, to see him come to AEW and have the matches that he's had, and especially tonight, and going, you know, doing that spot off of the top of the freaking cage through a table, it was beautiful, man. It was poetry in motion. And it was just
freaking scary, though.
It was scary. It was scary, but dude, I think it was kind of like, I think he was trying to prove to himself, you know, can I really still do this?
Yeah.
You know, and he's able to do it, man. You know, and that was beautiful. And
he left the ring later limping, But yeah, so after all this, after the rest of the House of Black shows up, they get the guys back in the ring, and it's time to beat down Adam Copeland. And you're like, okay, well, I guess the end of the match is coming soon. Malakai will win. Little did we know that we were going to get a special guest rip through the opposite corner of the ring, come up through the canvas, none other than Gangrel.
Yep. And I had been seeing news that Gangrel he's not signed with anybody. He doesn't. I don't think he's got a Legends contract with WWE. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting sideline. So it's beautiful.
He's running a wrestling school down in Florida with someone, either by himself or with someone, something to that effect. So he's training a lot of people, and he's in great shape.
Oh, dude, I was in the chat with all of you guys, and I said, "Oh my God, it's Gangrel!" And I watched him as he was doing these spots, these bumps, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he could still do bumps. He still took a bump, you know." And then Malakai like spinning kicked him. And he went down and he played it off really well, but that was so awesome. And it was so fitting. The only thing that I wish would have happened if he wasn't a heel, I wish Christian would have come out and helped him, but I understand he's got his own thing going on, but it was really cool to see Gangrel there. And I really hope he's on Wednesday.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that still can't happen somewhere in the future. You know, Edge tried like hell to make it happen, but then they had their feud, and that's how he got the TNT title.
And I was hoping that
we'll see.
And I was hoping because the ring before Gangrel came up through the ring, I was you know, the everything went red, like the whole ring went red, and I was waiting for the you're ready. The old theme. I was like, please do it. And I didn't do it. And I understand why. But God, it was so good to see Gangrel back, man.
It was cool. And they tried to do this before at some other, I don't remember when it was, if it was in the WWE or whatever it was. And Edge tried like hell to bring him back. So he finally was able to do it. It was great to see these two back together. You know, I imagine it's brief. I don't expect Gangrel to stick around. He may show up. We'll see.
Yeah, he might. But it was good to see him. It was good to see him.
It was. As much as I kind of wanted Malakai Black to get this title, I feel like he's it's been a long time in the waiting. It was really cool to see how everything played out. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
TBS title on the line. The CEO, Mercedes Mone, makes her debut versus a defending Willow Nightingale, the TBS champion.
And
I was pleasantly surprised with this match, dude. I actually thought it was pretty good.
yeah, I was surprised with the match. I was kind of confused as to why she got a WrestleMania, why Mercedes Moné got a WrestleMania type introduction before her music. But I'm like, okay, it's her debut, but she really hasn't done anything. I know she's been injured, but she was cleared a long time ago, so she could have done something. I just, I just like, okay, this is not, I don't know. I just didn't think it was the right time to have a marching band come out and then have some dancers come out, you know, but whatever. But
it's Vegas, baby.
I know. It's go big or go home, but
yeah.
I was impressed with the match. I really was. I was impressed with the match, especially with how everything else went down, which I'm sure we'll get into in just a few moments.
Yeah. I felt like there was a lot of people chanting for Mercedes Moné, but there was also a lot of Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale has really done good to build up a fan base for herself in this company.
Mm-hmm.
Now we talked about.
I hear a song. Is that your washer?
That's the dryer telling us, hey, by the way.
It's singing to you.
It does. It's
like, J-Bone, you're the best. I know you're the best, and I know you know it. But your laundry's...
But it's time to empty me out. We got some laundry to do. Oh, fuck off.
Your laundry's done, and there's more to do. Because you guys wear a lot of clothes.
Now here's 60 shirts to fold and hang.
Yeah, yes. Yep, exactly.
No, fuck off.
Right. You sing me a song, but you can't fold? The hell is this?
Oh, the world of AI.
Oh my. But this was, I mean, I loved all the twists and turns because that actually made the match better for me.
Yeah. At one point, Willow should have won this match, but Statlander and
her Willow's manager, I can't think of his name.
Stokely Hathaway.
Yeah.
And they were up and they were distracting the ref, which was the wrong time to distract the ref. It's like, that was lack of communication there. I wonder what's happening there. And they both kind of like, pointed the finger at each other like, oh, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. So that was kind of weird. Like you felt like something maybe was happening, but not to the degree that it happened because so Mercedes won.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, it sounded like the crowd went mild. They just, I think they're happy that she's there, but they're not excited about her winning this title. So
I don't think they're completely sold on Mercedes Moné because they, whenever her music plays and the music says CEO, the crowd does nothing. The crowd's not sold on her. And
they were
because
they had to wait so long.
Yeah, they were. That's the problem. They were really excited for her to come to the company, but we had to wait so freaking long. And now that she's here, she hasn't done anything, J-Bone. She hasn't done anything. She's done promos. That's all she's done. It's like, why are you even here?
She's done some stuff outside the ring. What they should have done in my opinion, is it just, I mean, as cool as it was to have her come out in her hometown when she did debut in Boston, which God knows, you know, she's a Beantown girl and they all loved her and they gave her all the love that we expected. Toni should have waited. Toni should have waited. He could have built this up a month ago saying, hey, I know you guys have been waiting, but the fact is she is a part of AEW. She will debut in a month, and then bring her out and then build up stuff over the course of a handful of weeks, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of how they did this, and you got to like wait so long. It's, the anticipation by the time this all happened felt like it kind of went by the wayside, sadly.
Yeah. You know, and especially if you were reading all the dirt sheets, you know, you were watching all the websites, looking for news on Mercedes Mone and when is she going to come to AEW? That too built up the momentum. You know, it was like, okay, is she finally going to debut? And then when she did, she got a really warm introduction in her hometown, but now, you know, she hasn't really done anything in the company. And I understand she's been injured, but if you're not cleared to wrestle, why would you debut somebody who's not cleared? You know,
I would have had her wrestle like a handful of other people before you obviously build up the stuff between her and Willow because they have past.
Yeah, build a story. That's what I've been bitching about with this company, J-Bone, is that they don't build up these stories. They have these incredible video packages on these pay-per-views that we get to see, but they don't build a story. They don't do anything on their regular televised shows on the network. You know, we just like, oh, okay, this is a thing. You know, they need to get better at building a story, especially with Mercedes Mone. They failed her. They failed with Mercedes. They didn't book her right. And they just threw her in this match with Willow Nightingale, whom I don't really care for. I think she's a Wish.com version of Bailey with the inflatable flailing arm flailing tube man, you know. And I'm not a fan of Willow Nightingale. I'm really not, and I'll say that. I just don't understand her gimmick. Like, oh, it's even through the pain, you gotta smile. Okay, are we Tupac? Are we what is that? You know, I just you know,
she's got a lot of charisma, and she's kind of like a classic. I never thought of her being like a classic Bailey, but I guess, I mean, do I feel like it's a Bailey ripoff? No, because I feel like
I totally do.
Because I've watched Willow Nightingale for years, and she's always had a lot of charisma. She's always had a great smile.
Bailey did too when she debuted.
Well, yeah.
Bailey had a lot of charisma. She was always smiley. It was always very fluffy when she came out. When they hit her music and the tube men went up, it was very fluffy. I wasn't sold on it. And that's the same thing with Willow Nightingale. When her music hits, it's fluffy. And, you know, it's like the Titantron says, you know, just smile. Fuck no, you're a wrestler. You're supposed to get gritty, get pissed off, even though you're a fucking face. Get pissed off.
Get dirty.
Just something. Don't be all, you know, I'm not sold.
I hear you
on it. I'm just not. Now with Willow dropping the title to Mercedes, I really, really hope that this does something for her. I really hope, and we get to see her booked correctly. I really do. Because that's the only thing that's going to save her.
What's really it? Well, that's going to be a separate thing all on its own.
Yeah.
But what happens to Willow Nightingale here is all like, I didn't see this coming. So when this happened, it was like, whoa. first of all, Stokely Hathaway's in the ring, and he's really kind of going off on Willow Nightingale, like, hey, you messed up, you lost, blah, 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 blah. And Statlander drops Stokely, and it was like, so, automatically people are thinking, oh, is Stokely Hathaway going to join Mercedes Moné and be a mouthpiece for her, maybe? What that'll have to remain to be seen. But then all of a sudden, Statlander helping Willow Nightingale out of the ring, heading towards the ramp, and drops her on the ramp, and then did some move to her. I forget what move it was, but basically, left her in the dust, and it was like, oh my God, Stokely's little family here is done.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense, because if you look at it, Statlander didn't need to be with Willow Nightingale. Statlander's strong. She can carry herself. And I think we're going to get a feud between Statlander and Willow Nightingale. And at some point, Willow's going to go back for her title against Mercedes Moné. But also, Stokely, he does need to be the mouthpiece for Mercedes because she can't cut a promo. That's another problem with Mercedes, is she can't cut a freaking promo. So if
it'll help,
I see if they do put him with her, then if they do put Stokely and Mercedes together, if Stokely's like Paul Heyman 2.0, then it'll be a lot better, and hopefully this will build her up and make her look better, look strong, because right now she looks weak as hell. And I see Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale having a feud, and I think Willow will go back and try to get her title back against Mercedes, and Mercedes going to look strong, and she's not going to drop it. So I think I think this is good. This is really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of Stokely Hathaway's for a long time, even back when he was managing guys in Evolve. Before WWE bought Evolve. And that goes back pre-pandemic. It's all a little fuzzy, but that was a great time. And that's 2016, 2017-ish. But Stokely Hathaway has always been doing great shit. So yeah, we'll see what happens down the road here. Next, we got the AEW World Title. We got this is actually what they call match 2 of a 3-match main event. And it was a lot of matches you could consider a main event in this show. We got Christian versus the defending Swerve Strickland. What'd you think of this, bro?
This is so I was kind of in a fight with my internet provider, and I was trying to pay attention to it. So I honestly, I didn't get to see a lot of the match, but of what I saw, it was good. It was really enjoyable of what I saw.
They told a good story in the ring, because there was a lot of stuff where, Prince and Nana got the finger pointed at him. He got kicked out, and then Christian's family got kicked out. And
at one point, Nick Wayne's mom was like, "This is bullshit."
Oh, she is. Let's talk about Mama Wayne for a minute.
Okay.
She is. At first, when I saw her coming out with Nick Wayne, I was like, I don't like this. I don't get this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
But the more I see her out there, and what's funny is she's a great valet.
Mm-hmm.
She's there for her son, and she's obviously there for Christian, but she doesn't play up to Christian, because obviously Christian's married, and well, Mama Wayne sadly is a widow, but they don't play it up. They don't play it up like they're together, which is proper.
Right.
But she comes out. she's, there's times when she's paying dividends, she distracts the ref and does this and does that. So she really does play. I feel like she plays the role well, and she doesn't have to do much. So it took me a while to like figure it out. Yeah. But the more she's out there with Christian, and Christian is probably one of the smartest guys in the company when it comes to psychology of why you do this and why you do that.
And I think he's teaching her. I think he's teaching her on, how to be a proper valet, without us we're together.
Yeah. Right. Because you don't, it's like, the missus is watching, family's watching.
Totally.
You gotta do it so that you can do it in a way that you're going to get booed, but you're also not disrespecting people.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, they're he's doing it well.
The way they're doing this is smart. Yeah, the way that they're portraying this is very 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 well done. Very well done.
Yeah. I'm still getting used to calling Luchasaurus Kill Shot, because that was Swerve Strickland's name in Lucha Underground. I don't know if you remember that.
Kill Switch?
Or Kill
Switch? Yeah, Kill Switch.
I thought it was Kill Shot.
I thought it was Kill Switch.
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up.
Oh, my brain sometimes, I tell you.
I get it. Well, I mean, they go through. They go through. I mean, God, he just went through so many names. Kill Switch. It's Kill Switch.
It is Kill Switch.
Mm-hmm. It's Kill Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Kill Shot was Swerve's name in, or maybe it was Kill Switch. I forget. I'd have to go look. But okay, Kill Switch. He's out there, and he's the only part of this that I don't see that makes sense. But because the whole Jack Perry thing's been done for eons now.
Right.
But it is what it is. So Christian's got his family, but he does not get the world title here. Swerve defends successfully, which is good. As much as I like Christian and I like what he's doing with this, I'm glad Swerve won. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes sense because if you're really trying to build up Swerve and you're giving him the push, why would you put the title on Christian and still give Swerve a push? It doesn't make any sense. So how they, I'm glad that they're pushing Swerve. I was hoping that Swerve would win, and he did, which is good. Good job, Toni. It just makes sense. So
yeah, it does. Yeah. And almost pulled off that stupid turtleneck.
Right.
the sleeveless turtleneck. I swear, sometimes I look at Christian and I'm like, man, only you could pull this off. I don't know.
Right.
All right. Main event time.
Yep.
This is as Justin Roberts so eloquently says to the audience, welcome to the shit show.
Yep. And he was trying to bite his tongue. He was like, do I really want to say this or do I not want to say this?
I guess we're going to in events past, he usually says something to the effect of, the shit is about to hit the fan, Yes. So welcome to the shit show. It's
shit meet the fan.
I laughed because if you watch TNI, our Alicia, she holds up a coffee cup at the start of the show in front of the camera that says, welcome to the shit show. So I had to
Yes.
just crack up when she does that.
That's funny.
Anarchy in the Arena, the shit show. We got the
This
Young
was a
Bucks
shit show
with Okada and Jack Perry versus Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, and FTR.
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly, where do we start with this one?
This was, well, I mean, you can talk about the fact that everybody from Team Elite was making their entrance, and then out of nowhere, before even Jack Perry came down to the freaking, well, no, Jack Perry was there, but even before Darby Allin,
he was just coming down,
yeah, before Darby Allin could even make his entrance, you had FTR and Bryan Danielson just beat the hell out of Team Elite, and then here comes Darby Allin to make his entrance, and Darby joins in. I mean, he just runs down the ramp and just joins in, and they're still playing Darby's music, which I didn't understand. And then
it had the feeling of, I don't know if you guys, if you don't know, the Ramblers back before I joined them used to do ECW reviews. And it gave me oh God, what the hell was his name?
Oh, you're talking about crap. I can't. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. It's crap. I can't think of his name. Yeah, he had the gangster music, and every time he would come down, what the hell is his name? It's on the tip of my tongue, man.
Oh God. But he would come out and he'd play his music, and it would like just go on and on and on while he was just beating the shit out of his opponents. I can't.
New Jack City.
New Jack.
Yeah. Every time he came out, it was like Coolio or something was playing as his entrance music, and he would just be beating shit out of people, and his music would just play. Like, whatever, we're just gonna play the music. So Darby Allin came out, and his entrance music was still going, and at some point Nicholas grabbed the microphone. He's like, whoa. If you're gonna play something, play our new theme music. And then Dax grabs the microphone. I think it was Dax. As somebody grabs the microphone and says, no, cut that crap off. If you're gonna play something, or it might have been Bryan Danielson. If you're going to play, it was Bryan Danielson, because he said, if you're going to play something, play my music. Play something that means something to All Elite Wrestling. And then they played.
He said, play the greatest entrance music of all time. And it's like, huh?
And it's the final countdown from Europe.
Oh, dude, I popped so hard for this. It's like, the camera's going all over the place to these guys beating the crap out of each other, to Okada and Bryan Danielson beating the crap out of each other, Darby and Jack Perry beating the crap out of each other, and the whole time I'm like, the
final countdown.
I'm sitting there watching this on my computer. I'm laughing and I'm headbanging I'm stomping my feet. I'm like, oh my God.
And then Nicholas grabs a microphone, or Matt, somebody grabs a microphone. One of the Young Bucks grabs a microphone and says, hey, whoa, cut it. We're operating on a budget, for God's sake.
Yeah, because
royalties are a bitch, man. I tell you.
Yeah, Europe wants a pretty penny for every time that their music gets played. So yeah, I'm sure they got paid. But holy crap. Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
That was great. It was great. So then, now the audience is spoiled. Everyone's on their feet. They're bopping away to this, and they're like, "We want music. We want music."
It was. I will say this. It was funny while the final countdown is playing. Everybody's beating the hell out of everyone, and then here comes Darby Allin. He does a move off of one of the signs. I think the Pepsi sign. And he just does the coffin drop off of the sign.
Oh yeah. It's so many guys do so many things, and then at one point, Jack Perry runs over Darby with a bus into like a pile of debris backstage.
Yeah, and then at one point,
Darby got hit by another bus.
Yeah, yeah. And Tony Schiavone said, "I think this dude is made of rubber."
Well, the funniest part was they were talking about what's all happened to Darby recently. He got injured doing this.
Right.
He got hit by his bus. And they're like, "Yeah, he got hit by a bus." And that was on his off day. It was like
Tony's like, "I think he's made of rubber."
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. You can tell it's starting to wind down now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's no way that Darby's coming back from that. I don't see him climbing out of this pile of debris. Yeah. Well, sure as shit, 5 minutes later, he's stumbling down the ramp. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Some other stuff happens. People are flying off the stage. Okada puts someone through a table.
Yeah.
And then Darby runs backstage after getting put on the Young Bucks entrance elevator,
mm-hmm.
And he comes back with a flamethrower.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And it's funny too. So before Darby came out with a flamethrower, Jack Perry was backstage because Darby and Jack had a spot where Jack fell into this pool of like this bucket of ice water that had drinks in it. And Darby literally drowned Jack Perry for like 5 seconds before he let him up. And Jack was trying to get himself together, and he was stumbling through backstage, and he was going to the gorilla position. And then he saw Tony Khan. So Tony, yeah. You're coming with me. And so he picked up Tony Khan, and here comes Tony Khan and Jack Perry through one of the entrances. And then another entrance comes Darby Allin with a freaking flamethrower. And at some point, did they do a bump on Tony? Did they do another bump with Tony? I don't think they did.
Tony like went down like next to the camera, so he kind of like ran off, so he was safe. But seconds later, then Darby Allin sets Jack Perry on fire.
Yes,
and he's dancing around, and he's like ah, and then he rolls down, and the Young Bucks had fire extinguishers just off to the side, so they were ready. Thank God.
So they put Jack out with the fire extinguisher, and Darby was just standing there with this freaking flamethrower, and they both turned to Darby and spray the fire extinguisher at him.
They hosed him down,
and then he goes down. Oh my God, it was chaotic. This was chaotic.
Everything went back towards the ring now. Finally.
Oh, thank God.
They ended up getting some cord from up.
It was a rope. It was like it was a piece of rope with a carabiner on it, and they hogtied Darby Allin by his feet, his broken ankle. They hogtied him, and he was dangling in the middle, just hanging there in the middle of the ring,
just hanging out.
Of course, they're trying to push these shoes, these new Reeboks with the Young Bucks, and Okada brings out the new shoes, and they have the tacks on the sole or the bottom of the shoe, and so they put them on.
Try these on.
Yeah, she's like, try them on. So they put them on, they pump them up, and then they super kick. They both in stereo, they super kick Darby Allin right in the nose. And I think they rebroke his nose because he had that protective gear on his face to protect his nose. So they took that off. And I think they rebroke his nose with that super kick. My God, that was nasty. That was nasty.
I don't know how, but Jack Perry comes back, ends up, what does he do? Like an elbow off the top rope to Bryan Danielson, or he does some kind of finisher to him.
Yeah. Does something to him.
FTR is nowhere to be seen. And that's pretty much how the show ends. I mean, and there was a bunch of other stuff that we didn't mention, but it was just so much chaos.
Yeah, at one point they took one of the shoes, the shoes with the tacks at the bottom was ripped off of I think it was Nick, or either Nick or Matt lost their shoe, and Bryan Danielson got a hold of it and he smacked him in the face with the shoe.
Someone ran in. I don't know who did this to who, but someone ran in with a chair, hit Bryan. Like
it was
Bryan Danielson.
It was Bryan Danielson. He went after the Young Bucks, and he hit him with a chair, and the chair the chair just exploded. It was sparks. How do they do that?
Tony Schiavone's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, he's like, the chair's on fire.
Oh man,
this was a nutty. It really was a shit show. It seriously was a shit show.
I think this pretty much tops everything they've done in the last 5 years when it comes to this kind of match. Because there's years past where they had like plenty of like fun, goofy spots. There was nothing fun and goofy about this match. This was insane. This was dangerous.
Yeah.
It was violent. It was there was times where it was like you cringing a little.
Yeah.
It was, but the I didn't even put who won this.
It was Team Elite. It was Elite that won. The Elite
won. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Elite won this one, and I kind of half expected someone to come out in the end to like face off with them, like like a Hulk Hogan moment, like like MJF coming out, but that did not happen. But I have a feeling we're gonna get something like that on Wednesday. Maybe.
I have a feeling. Yeah. I wonder if it, I know Kenny Omega is back and he's in the storyline of, well, I'm an EVP. I wonder if Kenny Omega with his EVP powers gave some sort of power to MJF and said, you know what, I'm going to address a couple things. First of all, Adam Cole, you and I still have some unfinished business, but then I think he's going to go after the EVPs, the Young Bucks, and the Elite.
It could be. I think Kenny Omega just had surgery, though.
Kenny Omega just had some surgery done, so he's out for the foreseeable future. So maybe MJF is. I hope that they work this in. MJF comes back and he makes his grand return, and he's going to fight the Elite, and he's going to take over. He's going to unite the locker room, and he's going to take over
Tony.
Because God knows Tony Khan needs saved. Tony Khan needs saved from Tony Khan.
Well, it was for the longest time, Tony Khan was so on edge about dealing with MJF because he was such a loose cannon, and but now it's like, oh, he's signed. Oh, everything is good in the world. So I don't know There's a lot of different ways they could do this, but
there's a ton of different
Wednesday.
Yeah,
This coming Dynamite should be just
Wednesday is going to be
ridiculous.
and I've been seeing that their show, I think it was Collision or Rampage, either one. They had a really, really big decrease in viewership. So I'm hoping that after Double or Nothing that they start getting some viewership with Dynamite. It's just, how can they do this story the right way? All these different storylines, how can they do them all the right way where people will want to watch it and not get lost in it and not seem so chaotic, but actually drive in some viewership.
Yeah.
I'm interested in to see how they're going to do everything for after Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's great that MJF is back. I think that'll really help bring some eyes back to the product.
Yeah, because MJF is over. He is so over. Whatever they did with MJF, they did it the right way, because this guy has so much good heat on him. People love him.
He's on fire right now.
Oh yeah, people love him.
It's gonna be 10 times if everything is booked properly.
Yep.
It's gonna be bigger. He's gonna be bigger than he was before. And
Yep.
He's done some pretty big stuff between his stuff with Chris Jericho, CM Punk, Moxley, others. Samoa Joe. It's gonna be nuts.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for it.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So that is Double or Nothing.
Yeah. What would we rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a 9.
I'd give it probably an 8 to an 8.5. It was a good, and I've always said this. I've always said this about AEW. No matter what, no matter how many crappy Dynamites, Rampages, and Collisions we have, we always can depend on their pay-per-views to be top-notch. Zach Bonifer, 8. Yeah, I mean that's a fair rating for this pay-per-view. And they've always done top-notch pay-per-views every time I've watched them. And it just shocks me because they're so the pay-per-view and their go-home shows and their regular shows or regular weekly shows are just so polar opposite from everything else that they do.
They can be, yeah.
And I know they're trying to save the excitement for the pay-per-view, but take a page out of the WWE book. Not every show needs to be a snoozer. You got to have some excitement to lead up to the pay-per-view.
It's putting a story to the matches, and it's not always easy, but it's like the talent is there.
Yeah.
You got the people backstage to help you with this. There's no reason why, with all the resources that Tony has, that he can,
And I don't. Yeah. Oh, totally. And I don't know what the problem is. Is it because Tony's not utilizing all the resources that he has? Is it because they've only got a 2-hour window that they continuously go over every single night on Dynamite? Is it lack of time? Is it lack of it's lack of stories. It's lack of building up a match.
You know what it is? I figured it out. I've been thinking about this a long time. You know what it is?
Professor, tell me.
It's a lack of Vince Russo. I think you can say it.
This is the first time in a very, very long time that I'm going to disagree with you.
I knew you would. I respect Vince, and I know it's another polarizing, person where people either love him or people hate him. But
hence the
honestly,
keyword there, pole.
Yeah.
Everything was on a freaking pole.
I don't think he would go that far, but I feel like he could do something. I don't know. But he even told Toni, he's like, look, man, just call me. Seriously.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I am done with the product. Look, I am done with the product. If Vince Russo steps into that company, Tony Khan, Earth to Tony, listen to me. If you ever see this, for the love of God, do not hire Vince Russo and do not do a shoe on a pole match with Tony Storm. Please don't do it.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Who throws a shoe, honestly?
Oh, who puts a mother on a pole? Who puts Buff Bagwell's mom on a freaking pole? Come on. Done. I'm done.
Thanks, Zach. That's a tremendous idea. We'll run that up there.
We'll
run that up there.
The old flag pole.
Let's see who salutes it.
Well, yeah, we'll put that on a pole match.
Right. But hey, thanks for everyone tuning into this. This is the return of Smash This Podcast.
Yes.
I'm still, working out the kinks as far as how and when I'm going to do this with everything else going on, but I will do my best. I figured this is a good way to fire it back up and see what happens. And thank you, Dizzy, so much for joining me. It's always nice to bounce stuff off of people.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And check out his other podcast too. If you are a fan of TNA, check out TNI. Check out Total Nonstop Impact. And if you want news from both TNA, AEW, WWE, and anything else that we can dig up, come on over to Ramblers Unleashed. Just look it up on YouTube and subscribe. And we do a show pretty much every Saturday afternoon at 1:00 Central Standard, unless some things happen and that are out of our control. But we'll definitely let you know when we're on the air. But
it's usually sometime on Saturday. Yeah,
it's sometime on Saturday. And the norm has been around 1:00 Central Standard Time. But if you enjoy J-Bone, the guy, I can't. It's weird because it's weird that I don't know. Anyway, enjoy J-Bone, and if you enjoy what you've heard tonight, tune into to Ramblers Unleashed. We'd love to have you check out a show.
Yeah, we just did a great show talking about Queen and King of the Ring.
Yeah,
and that was a fun review. That was a great show. This whole weekend's been nuts, man. There's so much good wrestling from several different companies. So there you go. Just love wrestling.
Just watch wrestling, enjoy it, no matter what's going on in the promotions, behind the scenes, whatever. Just enjoy wrestling.
Yeah, pick a company and go with it.
Yep. Pick a couple companies and go with it.
There you go.
All
your buddy did. That was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might have watched AEW tonight. So I'm going to text him tomorrow and ask him if he watched AEW.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Making fans worldwide.
Making fans everywhere we go.
So, but thanks for watching. Lots of stuff happening this week between the world of WWE, of course, with Queen and King and Queen of the Ring Fallout. Wednesday night's going to be
interesting.
Double or Nothing Fallout. So yeah, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be a crazy week. So hey, we're here for it.
Crazy
And
week.
we'll see you down the road, whether it be TNA for Thursday nights or our stuff later this week, the following weekend on for Ramblers Unleashed. We'll just follow the socials and we'll let you know when to tune in. So
Absolutely.
for this guy to my left, you're right, Dizzy. I am J Bone. It's been a hell of a night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.
See you guys.